last 2 years, a new category of rooftop ACs was brought to the market.
Meet the Velit 12 volt DC air conditioner.
Before 12 volt ACs, you had your standard 120 volt rooftop ACs, which were a power hog and sucked up a ton of energy. You basically had to connect to shore power whenever you wanted to use it, unless you had a massive solar array or a really big battery bank. Which, if you've been following us for any length of time while we were traveling in the van, then you know we kind of avoid campgrounds and never really connect to shore power because we never really had to. But now, since there's a few 12 volt DC air conditioners on the market, why wouldn't you install one if it's within your budget? Of course, there's a debate on whether or not you really need an AC in your van, and to be fair, we didn't have one in our first one, but we never really traveled in the peak of summer and avoided really hot climates because we did not have an AC. And now with a baby on the way, we don't want to have to worry if a location is too hot or if we get stuck in a heat wave. Also, when we sold the van, the two most common questions were, is this van four-wheel drive? And does it have AC? So when Velit reached out to us asking if we wanted to install their latest 12 volt AC on our van, we said absolutely, and we couldn't wait to get it installed. Really quick, before we get into the install, I want to show you a side-by-side comparisons of the different ACs on the market. One of the most critical things before deciding on whether or not you should buy a 12 volt AC is determining whether or not your battery bank can handle it. I'm no expert in this department, but I imagine you want at least 300 amp hours of lithium batteries for a 12 volt AC. But I'm not really sure if you'd be able to run it all night long without the help of the sun beating down on your solar panels during the day, keeping your batteries charged. We're gonna have 540 amp hours of Battle-Born lithium batteries in our van, so we should be just fine running our AC unit all night without the worry of depleting our batteries completely, and we'd be able to run other appliances as well during this time. So for this assessment, we're going to look at 3 different ACs on the market, arguably the 2 most popular than the Velit. We'll have the Dometic RTX 2000, the Dometic 3000, and the Velit 2000R. We're going to look at the BTUs, which is the unit's cooling power, how many amps it draws, which is arguably the most important thing to consider when you're looking at your battery bank and what 12 volt AC to get, and then the cost per unit. From a BTU standpoint, the Dometic RTX comes in at the lowest with 6,824 BTUs. Velit's right around 8,000, and the Dometic 3000 comes in at a whopping 11,830 BTUs. From an amperage draw, Dometic sits at 10 to 58 amps, Velit at 10 to 60 amps, and Dometic sits at 35 to 105 amps. And finally, the cost. The Dometic is $2,399. Velit is $1,599, and Dometic is at roughly $4,300. Now this is where Velit is arguably the most affordable AC on the market based on the cost per BTUs or how many BTUs you get per dollar spent. For Dometic, the cost per BTU is 35 cents. For Dometic, the cost per BTU is 36 cents. For Velit, the cost per BTU is only 20 cents. So you're getting 5 BTUs per dollar, whereas you're getting 2.7, 2.8 BTUs per dollar with Dometic versus the Dometic only. So that's something to consider when you're shopping around for 12 volt ACs. I'm not really going to be able to do a full complete test because it is the middle of December in New Jersey and it's winter time, so it's pretty cold. And you would ideally want to test this in the warmer months of the year, obviously for an air conditioner. But based on the videos that I saw where there were tests ran in pretty hot climates, the amount of amps that the Velit consumes is within that range. So time will tell. Once we get into warmer climates, we'll be able to test this out and really see how it is. But I just wanted to share that with you guys since I think it's pretty helpful and something to consider. But let's get into the install now. And I'll show you how easy it is. It's basically just installing a roof vent fan, but I think it's actually easier.
In terms of installation, Velit provides all of the necessary hardware and foam support pieces for the install. However, you do need to buy your own adhesive. We use Sikaflex 252 because it's good with vibrations, but you could use, I guess, whatever you want. The first thing you want to do is determine the location of the install. Since we wanted to install this all the way in the back, we marked our location and made sure that the back of the unit didn't interfere with our roof rack. I then used the cardboard box as a template to protect the roof from all the metal shavings with the jigsaw, which is my biggest pet peeve out of all the van build projects. Nothing pisses me off more than those little metal shavings that just get all over the place and do nothing but collect rust. We also put the bag underneath the cutout to catch the metal shavings, and if you ever installed a roof vent fan, it's basically the same process. So once you determine your location, you cut out your square and get interrupted by your neighbor.
Look who decided to show up.
Where's Swift at?
She's at the Philly market with her mother.
I just emailed her mom. I just talked to her mom like on Twitter for like a half hour.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and she asked me how to wave.
How were they?
They were very, very, very good.
I'm trying to get down out there if I finish this job.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It looks like a heater.
AC.
That's for when you put the foam, the memory foam in, and you put your kid in there for a couple of months and then you go away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Climate controlled, you know?
Yeah, climate controlled for KJ. That's great.
Exactly, yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell Swift to have a good time, and it was nice talking to her mom on Twitter.
All right, see you later.
Anyway, you cut out the 14 by 14 inch template, file down the rough edge, paint the raw metal, clean the area, and apply the adhesive and lay down the foam cushion. If your location has an elevated ridge on the roof like mine here, then you just want to take the foam bracket, push it against that elevated ridge to make an indent on it, and then take a razor blade and cut that section out so it lays nice and flat and you don't have to worry about any water getting in. Here's where I made my biggest mistake for the project. I applied way too much adhesive, causing it to ooze out everywhere. But at least I know there won't be any leaks whatsoever. I also put adhesive on the outside of the foam bracket since it's recommended by Velit. Next, you're ready to put the AC in place, but before you do that, make sure you attach the foam support pieces to make sure the AC unit is well balanced and well supported on the roof. Once the unit's in place, you set up your wiring kit and then lock in the unit with the mounting brackets. Then you're basically done, unless you have a little cleanup of the excessive adhesive like me. But yeah, it's time to test it out or move on to the next project. It's really that simple and easy peasy.
So that wraps up the install. I think it was pretty easy, probably easier than a Max Air fan because you don't have to drill in any holes for screws. I did reach out to Velit to get a promo code and was able to get you $50 off your order if you're interested in a Velit Camping. I'll leave the promo code right here. I think it's going to be MOTM50, but I need to confirm that, so it might change. Just look in the description or at the bottom of the screen here. And yeah, I think that's it for vent fans. That's definitely it for vent fans and AC units. Next up will be the deck panels and the solar. But before that, we are going away to the Caribbean for a week where we'll be in St. Martin and Anguilla. It's our last trip before the baby comes, so we're super stoked about it. And we're going to get out of this cold weather. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.